Hi gang, Rob here. It is the afternoon of 16 October 2019. Coming to you with a little knife review today on something I picked up in Chattanooga last week at Knife Ship Free. Pretty cool story actually. A couple years ago I was culling my collection and I had a number 92 Great Eastern Cutlery Eureka Jack from the 2013 run in autumn gold jig bone Northfield trim, and for some reason I decided that knife didn't make the cut and I sold it. And as happens sometimes when the Eureka Jacks were out of production, they sort of became wildly popular, so I started to want one again. And on Friday afternoon, I'm standing in the showroom at Knife Ship Free, and I knew they were running more 92s right now at Great Eastern Cutlery, but I really didn't have them in my field of view as I made that trip. But lo and behold, Tyler comes out with 3 tubes in his hand and starts opening them up on top of the counter in the showroom, and Chris, Ty, and I were standing there, and what comes out of the tubes but these things. Let me adjust my focus here. Oh yeah. So these are, unless you count the stag, these are sort of the Eureka Jack statement knife for the 2019 run. Northfield trim, double line nickel silver bolsters, plain end caps, brass liners, houndstooth shield, and gorgeous antique goldenrod camel bone covers. Oh my lord. As the tube cap indicates, model number 92219. Other colors and configurations of this knife this year. Northfield trim comes in this stunning antique goldenrod camel bone, also in sambar stag, and then you're going to have factory Titty versions in elderberry jig bone, green, OD green, linen micarta, and then 2 special factory order Titty runs, one in burlap micarta with a badge shield, and one in calico jigged bone with a hot dog shield. So what does that make? 6 total variations of this knife for this run. So the Eureka Jack, the same frame as the 92 Talon. It's sort of a swayback jack frame, but with a little swell in the center, which gives it a little air of uniqueness. 3 5/8 is your closed length. Your main spear point blade is 2 11/16, and it's Northfield trim on this one. So we get the polished blade with cut swedge and a long match striker pull. And then the secondary blade is a coping blade. Some interesting details on this knife, I think. Number 1, the shape of the frame is just gorgeous. Number 2, if you look at the back springs, I love the way the main blade back spring terminates in the normal place, but then the coping blade being so short, they wrap that spring all the way back to here, which sort of closes up that blade well, gives it a more finished look. The hafting on this knife is absolute perfection. Both springs are flush when closed. A little bit proud at half stop, which is standard GEC operating procedure. Closer to flush than most. And then dead flush again at full open. Same story with the coping blade. Transitions are dead perfect on this knife between cover material, bolsters, and end caps. Absolutely tight construction, no light gaps anywhere. Pull on that main blade, about a 6.5, buttery smooth. Walk and talk is absolutely stunning on this one. About a 5.5 or a 6 on the coping blade. Again, beautiful, beautiful walk and talk. I sort of have 3 categories for my Great Eastern Cutlery knives. I've got my sort of everyday carry knives that I don't care if I beat up a little bit. And then I've got my pure safe queens that don't even get sharpened. They just sit there and look pretty. And then knives like this one. Sort of a Sunday go to meeting pocket knife. I will carry this lovingly and carefully. I have sharpened it. You're looking at a blade wipe. You are looking at an 18 degrees per side bevel with polish to about 0.5 micron. I'm going to come in close on the focus so you can look at how beautifully ground these blades are. Look at the consistent width of that consistent angle edge bevel. They're beautifully done. I did bump out the sharpening choils just ever so slightly on both blades, just to make the edge cleaner at the back. But I think it's just an awesome looking blade, just super handsome. I looked at 3 of these as Tyler was taking them out of the tubes, and this was by far the most beautifully figured of the 3. And I think the houndstooth shield rocks on that Eureka jack frame. As you guys have heard me say before, I'm not particularly a spear point guy, but this knife, the whole package, is just so cool. And I think the contrast in blade shapes between spear and coping blade just kind of gives it a jack of all trades appearance. One interesting little factoid, guys, if you are, if you're a younger person and you're in a career path that isn't really doing it for you and you're a knife lover, if you wouldn't mind living in Titusville, PA, and you don't mind getting your hands dirty and working hard, you might want to give Great Eastern Cutlery a phone call. Talk to him about the prospect of going to work as a cutler in the finest knife factory for the production of traditional pocket knives in the world. Believe it or not, it's been pretty hard for Bill the last couple of years to maintain, train, and keep a workforce. In fact, many of these Eureka jacks are hafted by Bill Howard himself. Just for the sake of my own story, I'm going to say this one was. But seriously, guys, if you love knives and you're looking for a career, and you're a talented person, a quick study, a hard worker, think about going to work at Great Eastern Cutlery. And if you go, stay. Keep Bill from eating Tums all day and spending sleepless nights. We need this company to stay around and grow, because they are as good as it gets. I just love the Eureka jack. That little bit of swell center in the sway back spine of that handle just is so perfect in the hand for draw cuts. You know, one of the most common types of cuts you're going to make with a knife like this. The coping blade doesn't intrude in the overhand pinch grip at all. Just a great pocket knife and so elegant. So elegant. Don't want to take a lot of your time with this one. I just thought you'd like to see it and be jealous. They continue to do great work in Titusville. And I'm pretty happy to have this replacement for my old 92. That's all for this one. Grace to you and peace, my friends, from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. And remember, the word is sharp.